good guy. We men do this all the time. We tell them, you know, honey, just pull out the nail, would you? And you'll be fine. She doesn't need you to tell her that. What she needs you for, and this is like a kind of a new revelation, is she just needs to talk about it. And why do women need to talk about this stuff? Because if you experience stress, your blood flow stops to the front part of your brain. And if you're a woman, talking about what's stressing you out will actually increase your estrogen and lower your stress. The flip side of that is if men learn, stop talking about your complaints, your testosterone will go up. See, psychology is wonderful, but it's also kind of ruined relationships. And it encourages women to say, what are you feeling? What's the matter over there? Getting men to talk about their feelings. Like, I gotta penetrate him. Basically, who's supposed to penetrate who? And where do we get penetrated as men? So if you penetrate there, what do you get? Asshole. Unless you're gay, and I want to be space for gay. We'll get to a little bit on gay. I'm not an expert on gay. But there's if you're heterosexual, because I am, I'm just telling you my life experiences and what I've learned. You can apply it all to gay relationship, any relationship. And she was up on stage, I want to apply it to my son, okay? It's understanding differences. Ultimately, a marriage is the biggest testing ground to learn something, which is called unconditional love. Accepting someone that you just don't understand and can't make sense of. Okay? And I help you to do that, but you're still always going to be challenged. This is Kung Fu relationship skills we're talking about. See, like, if I was like this insecure guy and needing my wife to bump up my ego, whatever, I come home, everybody gave me a standing ovation, I'm feeling on top of the world, best-selling author, celebrity type, all that stuff. I come home, my wife sees me and she goes, you know, you forgot to call. When are you going to call me? Boom, it's like, that's the greeting I get? It's like I'm such a big shot. Or she'll say something like, I'll come home and be relaxing, watching the news, and she'll say, John, you left the light on in the living room. What are you supposed to say if you're a man? And she'd be upset about little things. See, in her mind, she thinks, oh, I'm only upset about little stuff. That means you're like a great guy because I'm only upset about little stuff. But that's not how men, if they don't understand women, they misinterpret it. They think that if I really do a bad job, if I'm doing a bad job as a husband, then you have a right to be upset with me about these little things. Look, you don't do this, you don't do this, you don't do this. So let's just give me an example of what men think. Let's say I'm the president and you voted for me and I come into your house and I track dirt in your house. But you love me so much, I'm the president you voted for. And he tracks dirt in your house. Did you say anything? No, let me pick up your dirt. Happy to do that, no problem. Just like you were when he first married you. Pick up after you. See, women, when they get married to a guy, they go, oh good, yes, he's a messy, I can clean up after him. Look at how I can give my love to him. Then later it's like, well, what's he doing for me? Particularly at that time where she's giving and giving, but this is the time when she needs to receive back most. So back to my first point, since I haven't even finished that, I only have 15 minutes left. Dream with me. First point, what do men say when they're thinking about giving up? No matter what I do, it's not enough to make her happy. And what do women say? They say, 50 minutes of he doesn't do this, he doesn't do this. I give and I give and I give. I'm this loving, wonderful woman and I don't get back and I just have nothing left to give. And she doesn't. Because when her estrogen levels drop, because she's not receiving. When anybody does something for you, your estrogen levels start to come up. And many women are very uncomfortable feeling femininity. So what happened in the 60s, this is my new book, Beyond Mars and Venus. We had these very traditional roles. You might call marriage a role mate. I'm the provider, she's the homemaker, and we have this nice relationship. Then what comes along in the 60s is women say, we can do everything men can do. And actually that happened a lot, at least in America, because in World War II, all the men were gone. And so women filled the factories and did everything, and then people figured out, wow, women can do this stuff too. They can't just make babies, they can do everything men can do, and they'll do it for less. I didn't design that, but they will, okay? They got babies and they'll do whatever it takes to put food on the table for that baby. Whereas men are gonna go, well, I want a better job, you know? And when a man's out of work, this is what you don't know. If a man's out of work, it drops his testosterone. There's nothing more potent to boost a man's testosterone is his work. And if his work gets too easy, then he has to do difficult stuff. Men have to do difficult stuff and overcome. Every man in this room, think about what you're most proud of in your life. What was most proud that you're most proud of? It's something that was an obstacle, it was a challenge, it was a difficulty that you overcame. You succeeded, you survived, you did it. That's what builds a man's self-esteem. Actually, what builds a woman's self-esteem is just the opposite. When somebody shows you love and support and you don't have to do anything. See, we got all this power thing, all these empowered women, a little confused. See, I'm all into women being like Superman, but they're unhappy. And we have evidence of that. And they're more stressed than men. Because when they're Superman, their male hormones are being produced while they're making money. Work for money produces testosterone. Hard work produces testosterone. Non-nurturing work produces testosterone. Risk, danger, decision-making, leadership, all those things are testosterone producers. Testosterone feels good. Better for men than women, but feels good for women as well. Makes endorphins, feel good brain chemicals. The problem is once you're over on your testosterone side, hard to get back to the sweet, loving woman. Happy, playful, enjoyable, youthful, and certainly orgasmic. Hard to get back to the feminine side. So as women have moved forward since the 60s to become more and more independent, anytime I'm independent, testosterone levels shoot up. When a woman is independent, testosterone levels shoot up. When a person is dependent, I need you, what hormone gets produced? Estrogen. It's love. I mean, think about it. If you're hungry, you need food, right? Somebody comes along and says, oh, let me give you some food. Estrogen goes up and you feel lots of love. If you're a woman, that's the hormone you need 10 times more than men for 5 days of the month after your period. Then the next 5 days, you need 20 times more. And then for the next 12 days, you need progesterone and less estrogen. So literally, you're kind of schizophrenic. Now, a nice way to say this that I like to hold in my mind is that women are like the weather. The sun is always shining, but the clouds get in the way. And man, if you could just get, if you stop trying to fix women or change women, the clouds will always blow away and the sun will shine again. But that cloud's in front of there and you want to like get mad at her, get upset with her, tell her she should change. Or as the Greeks understood, if you cut off one snake from Medusa, what happens? 3 more grow back. That's the modern marriage right there. Guy's trying to explain to her that she's wrong for being upset or bothered, and she'll now give you 3 more reasons. And then you explain those are wrong, and she'll give you 3 more reasons. It's that that's the nature of femininity. They need validation. That's what's going to validate. If you like explain to her you have no right, no rational reason to feel what you feel, then she's going to have to keep finding reasons. So that's my Kung Fu relationship skill. One of them is my wife will say, you left the light on in the living room. Our electric bill is so high, you know that, don't you? Now, if I was to actually speak my truth at that moment, I don't give a fuck about the electric bill. I make millions of dollars. I spend that on a dinner. Do I say that? Would it work? No. I can make a joke about it to you. I can talk to my guys about it. So what do I do? Men don't know what to do. And she's looking at you like you're supposed to say, I'm so sorry. Now, before I learn this advanced technique I'm going to teach you now, my technique then was I'd say, I'm sorry. Women want you to say, I'm sorry. Then finally I realized I got a quota. Every week, 3 I'm sorries, and that's it. So my wife would look at me, I said, I've given you 3 already, honey, that's it. But it didn't really have a great effect on her. Because see, if it's 2 women together and somebody does something that's a little upsetting to you, the other one, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. But what happens when you're a testosterone guy is whenever you get a stressful message, whenever you're in a situation that's challenging, and by the way, women, anytime you even think about wanting a man to change, it's like, what, me change? But I'm the guy that just called you and you were happy. So we get a little